Tony D and Little Joan, and this is a screenwriter's rant on 4 movies for the ladies. A best-selling kind of love, Chestnut, Christmas at the Chalet, and the other Zoey. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for smash liking and subscribing. Check out my books. Links in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys, books 1 through 12, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. So in this first one, she's an author and she writes a book and it hits the bestseller list at number 3. And then they want to pair her with a speaking coach at first. And this is going to be her romance, right? So at first, she doesn't want the speaking coach, but she's terrible in front of the reporters. And she goes crazy, and he has to help her. And of course, he helps her, and then he really helps her. Now, you know what I'm saying. They fall in love, and it's all cute, and it's mushy and terrible. It just feels very generic, very rom-com-y. The big crisis is, part of the deal is she's got to help him with a script. And it turns out he's basing a script on her, and she gets mad, and then she dumps him, and then, I don't know, he's bringing her some gifts, and one of the gifts is a picture, and that brings back memories, and then she goes on a show, and thanks to him, she's awesome, and she's going to get a book deal, and now they're in love, and then they kiss the end. Ontario creates. So, Canadian movie, directed by Will Bowes, written by Haley Bresnahan. Very much a hotel movie, I would say. I like the leads. The leads seem to have a good energy to them, but I don't think their dialogue's all that great, I gotta say. Let's see if there's a write-up. Oh, thank God, no. Alright, moving on to Chestnut. This is your artsy film about a lesbian relationship, or a bisexual woman who can't choose between a guy and a girl. And so she's in love with both, and she has to choose. And God, she looks familiar. I know I've seen her in something before. She's cute though, and she's got, again, good energy, good casting on her part. The girl she's in love with has a lot of energy. The guy's kind of dead, kind of like low energy. That might be on purpose. I don't know. I guess it's Natalie Dyer is the lead. I don't know. It's good. I don't know. It's very much like it's just sort of their film. You know, it feels very sort of like Gen Z kind of thing. Will they get together? Will they won't? And then the attitude is kind of like, who cares? Oh, here we go. We got to write up. A recent graduate becomes entangled in a relationship with a man and woman during her summer after college. Okay. So first act, I think she's going out with the guy and then meets the girl and then falls in love with both and has to choose. So the second act, she's going back and forth. And the third act, she picks one or picks neither. And the end. Next one is Terry Hatcher, Christmas at the Chalet. Terry Hatcher was once the hottest woman in Hollywood. I mean, when she was a Bond girl, my God, she was smoking. Now, she's got a lot of age lines going. I think she's a little too long in the tooth for a movie like this, but she brings the energy, you know. So the premise is she's like a travel influencer, and her son go on a skiing trip, and she falls in love with a guy who's like the hotel guy, and he's a ski instructor. And so at first they don't like each other, and then they fall in love because, you know, he's showing her how to ski, and he has a little daughter, and it's all very cute. And it takes place at Christmas, so Christmas at the Chalet. That's one of the elements, right? It's not just romance. It's got to have Christmas in there, or princess, or wedding. There's a wedding mentioned in this. I didn't see any in the trailer. So directed by Lucy Guest. Julia Cranny is the writer. I would say the direction on this one's pretty good. The music's a little rough for me, but okay, it's appropriate. Another movie produced in Canada. Does Canada just make hotel movies? Easy, easy, doggy. I know. One more. And finally, easy. Prime Video, The Other Zoey. This one, again, solid casting calls here. About a girl in college who, she's a know-it-all, only attracted to guys who are smart. The soccer star, and this is Prime in AU in New Zealand, so a soccer star. In America, it would be a football star. So, at first, she meets this soccer star. He's a dope and only interested in like video games, and she's a big know-it-all. And so she distracts him. She's running out to give him his credit card and distracts him. He gets into a car accident where he's hit by a car. All right, Joe, I'll put you on the ground. Here, run, be free. So he's hit and then hits his head, and of course he doesn't remember anything. When he wakes up, she's there. He is dating a girl named Zoey. This girl is named Zoey. He mistakes her for the other Zoey and thinks, oh, you're my girlfriend. And then the doctors, for some reason, tell her to go along with it for now, or her evil friend tells her, oh, go along with it. You should totally hook up with that guy because he's hot. So she ends up going to dinner with him, and I guess the parents haven't met her yet, and she ends up being invited on a trip with them. Annie McDowell is the mom. So she goes on a ski trip with them, but there's another young couple, and the guy in that couple is an actual smart guy, and she's also in love with him. So now she's flirting with both of them, but she's supposed to be one impossible decision. There's always a decision, right? So she's supposed to be with the dumb guy, but she thinks she should be with the smart guy, and then Heather Graham plays the mom, I guess, and she says, follow your heart. And at least they call that out as the cliched line that it is, because she says something like, oh, you're giving me rom-com advice. I think you people have either written or watched too many rom-coms. You know, look at she's, I have to choose. You know, a lot of, I'll say feminists complain about the Bechdel test. Oh, the Bechdel test. Well, who do you think this movie's aimed at? It's aimed at women, and it's nothing but relationships. God, it's relentless on the relationship. There's like, in these movies, there's nothing else but the relationship. If there's not something about the relationship in a scene, it's not in the movie. It's like, that's all it is. It's non-stop. Now, I'll say with this one, again, well directed, very, very, very appealing cast. The characters are a little different from each other. So, out of the 4 movies, how would I rank these? The Best-Selling Kind of Love. Oh, God, I hate that name. Chestnut. Christmas at the Chalet with Terry Hatcher. And The Other Zoey. I'd have to give it to The Other Zoey, just because the cast is the most appealing. The characters are a little different from each other. Even though the plot, I think, is kind of stupid, but all these plots are kind of stupid for the most part. It looks like it would be tolerable because it's paced well. I feel like it's paced well, and the characters are young and attractive, and it just seemed, the trailer seemed to move very well. Now that might just be the trailer, but I would go with this. It's on Prime, so probably watch it whenever. Number 2, I'd probably have to go with the Chestnut movie, only because it's a shorter trailer. There could be some surprises in here. It's a little different from your average, 1, 2, 3 romance movie. It could go in some interesting directions, simply because it's kind of a Gen Z thing. And you could play with the idea of a girl who was in love with a guy and a girl and the various benefits of that, right? Very attractive lead. So, yeah, I would go with this, number 2. Number 3, is really tough. I guess I would have to go with Terry Hatcher and Christmas in the Chalet. It looks terrible, but Terry Hatcher's trying, and she is charismatic, even though she's older now. She's, to me, it clearly looks like she's had work done, but she doesn't look horrible. Um, she's trying to have fun with it. She's never struck me as a comedian type. She was always the very seductive type in the movies she was in the early days. But, just because I know her, I guess I would lean towards this at number 3. But it's kind of a close call. And at the bottom, a best-selling kind of love. This is definitely a hotel movie. I wouldn't expect to see this anywhere except on a hotel movie channel. And, it just, they crank these kinds of movies out all the time. It's by the numbers rom-com. I mean, the leads are okay. I think they deserved a better script. I don't think the script is particularly good. It's not particularly awful, though. I mean, you might be able to suffer through it if your girlfriend made you watch it. But, the leads are attractive. It's not the worst dialogue I ever heard, but, yeah, it's not great. Anyhow, ladies, there's 4 movies for you. It's all about the romance. So the other Zoey, Christmas at the Chalet, Chestnut, and a best-selling kind of love. And that's it for me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Check us out on Odysee, Bitchute, and Rumble for our more base takes. And because how long before someone just cancels me? It's inevitable. So definitely sign up at Rumble, Bitchute, and Odysee. Thanks for tuning in today. We'll see you